Do I still think anyone can run an ultramarathon? Let's get into that. After 10 years of having a YouTube channel centered around ultramarathon running and trying to help people bridge the gap between, road running and trail running, or marathon running and ultra running, I have discussed this many times over the years because ultimately I think people have this misunderstanding that people who run ultramarathons are somehow superhuman, which is not the case. There are 4 buckets to running ultramarathons. This is my opinion. There's 4 buckets to running ultramarathons. These buckets need to be filled for someone to successfully complete one. First and foremost, you need a base level of endurance. Now, this is the part that whenever I say anyone can run an ultramarathon, they always bring up, well, this person has this, and this person can't do this, and their knees, they have bad. I get that. There is a base level of endurance and fitness that is needed. You need to be able to move forward for an extended amount of time. So that part is necessary. You need to be able to be on your feet for a long time. So that is kind of the base level of fitness that is needed. People who stand all day long for their jobs, I think, are more prepared than people who sit at a desk all day, regardless of how much they run each week. That does come into play, but I believe that is true. Second, relentless forward progress. That is super key in running ultramarathons for obvious reasons. You got to keep moving in the midst of everything going wrong, the wheels falling off, anything that is making you uncomfortable. To be able to continue to move forward is in your mind, to be able to compartmentalize the issues that you're dealing with at any point is going to dictate whether or not you finish a race or not. Thirdly, problem solving. Why are my hands swollen? Why am I nauseous? Why is the hot spot on my foot getting worse? How do I keep the hot spots on my feet from getting worse? Chafing, nutrition, all of these things are things you have to think about and solve while you're racing. Problem solving. Really, you have to be able to problem solve during an ultramarathon to try to mitigate the issues that could happen. Really, most of the time you're trying to keep all of those things from happening, and we all do the best we can in races to keep those annoying things that make relentless forward progress difficult, try to keep those from happening. That's the third bucket. The fourth bucket, and this is the big one, if you can't do this, it's that mental tenacity. It is being comfortable while being uncomfortable. Ultramarathons are hard. They're not easy. And over time, those of us who have run many ultramarathons, we've become comfortable with being uncomfortable. We understand what we've signed up for. At the beginning, when I first started running ultramarathons, it was about, do I think I can actually do it? And that was the case for a long time. I don't doubt that I can do it now, but if I do all of the things, if I fill my buckets up, I know that I'm probably going to be successful. But anything can happen at any point. You could be unsuccessful in any one of these buckets and have a bad day. I've finished 100-mile ultramarathons, and I've DNF'd 50 milers. It just, things can go wrong. And these buckets are very important to always keep in your mind that, if you're going to sign up for an ultramarathon, you need to have the base level. You got to keep moving. You got to keep your problem solving at the front of your mind. Keep you occupied, trying to keep bad things from happening. Why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Mitigating that, and then being comfortable with the being uncomfortable. That is the recipe. That is the equation that a person needs to finish an ultramarathon. And I think a lot of people have that in them. They just have never tried. The biggest statement I get from people when they ask me, usually it starts with this. They ask me what this, and this is endorphins. They ask me about that tattoo, and I tell them what it is, and then I end up having to explain that I run ultramarathons. And I get the ultimate response of, I could never do that. I don't understand how you do that. And I try to tell people it didn't start overnight. I didn't just wake up one day. Well, I did wake up one day and say I wanted to run one, but I was not capable of that. I mean, I ran 5Ks and 10Ks for years and half marathons and then marathons, and then got it kind of into trail running, and then transitioned into running ultramarathons. And it was hard. Running them wasn't ever easy. There's people who do these every weekend, monthly. Once you become used to it, It's no longer a question of whether you can do it anymore. It's just doing it. It's just something you do. And that's kind of where I am now. And, I ask myself sometimes, and I get asked by other people, how long are you going to continue to run ultramarathons? And honestly, I don't know. I'm going to continue to do it while it's still fun to me. I love seeing people who are passionate about getting into ultramarathon, and I love helping you all talk about and discuss the troubleshooting and preparing for races, motivating people because, I'm not an elite runner, but I can run ultramarathons. I'm never going to win a race, and I'm fine with that. I love the community. I love the trails. I love being out there, and I love helping people. That's why I have this channel. So, of course, I think anyone can run an ultramarathon that wants to. You just got to fill those buckets up. You got to understand what goes in those buckets, and you got to always keep moving forward. And you're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have chafing. You're going to have nausea. You're going to have times where you just don't feel good. And you're going to have hot spots. And you're just going to be cold or you're going to be hot. And it's always going to be something. Always. You just got to keep going. If you keep going, you're going to finish. And that's the kind of stuff I tell myself when I'm in races, because the mental toughness aspect of this is everything. Those buckets are very important, but ultimately mental toughness is the essence of ultra running. Just being mentally tough enough to push through everything. And I'd like to say smart enough to problem solve, but if we were super smart, we probably wouldn't do ultra marathons. So there's that. So after all these years of discussing things with you guys and trying to help new runners get into this, yes, I ultimately believe that anyone can run an ultramarathon. Ultramarathon has grown significantly over the last 10 years of me being part of this community, and I think that's a good thing. I do think it's a good thing. I know some people may think it's not. The trail purists and the ultramarathon purists who don't want people out there that they don't believe meet the standard. That's less typical in ultra running. I don't think we have as much of that in road running. Marathoners typically have that type of attitude. Elitist, fast marathon runners kind of feel that way about slower marathon runners. But slower marathon runners could make perfect ultra marathon runners. So you're welcome out on the trails with us. We'll move slowly. We'll talk. We'll get to know each other, and we'll collect races together. Just finish them and be part of the community, and really just enjoy ourselves out there, collect memories with each other over these years. And ultimately, that's what this is about, the community aspect. And there was a fifth bucket. That would be the benefits, the community aspect of this. Because you get to a point where you no longer care that you can finish these, and it's just about the journey. And that's what I'm on right now. It's the journey. It's the journey of ultramarathon running that I'm seeking the most. I hope this helps. If you want to see some other videos on my thoughts in ultramarathon running, click over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.